guys, this is Gareth from TriLife again, and this is episode number 4. Today we're going to explore cross-chaining, what it is and how to prevent it. So you might ask me what cross-chaining is. Cross-chaining is basically when your front gear is in the big chainring and you're all the way at the top, and there's a very big angle between the two, and that causes a lot of strain on the chain, it causes a lot of noise, and ultimately you could drop your chain and have to stop and change it. Alright, so with most of the bikes today you get lots of gears. You have 2 gears in the front, you have 11 at the back, so there's a lot of gears to choose from, but that doesn't mean you can be in every gear whenever you want to. It's all about choosing the appropriate gear and being in the best one for that type of riding at that point in your ride. So I'm going to explain to you how to choose the right gear and what's going to be the best fit for you while you're riding at the same time. Alright, so you might think to yourself, why can't I be in any gear that I want to be? But the bottom line is that your mechanic can only achieve so much. So he can only get to a happy medium. You cannot possibly be in your big gear in the front and then all the way easy at the bottom, or vice versa. In your small chain in the front and then all the way down at the hardest gear at the back. It just puts too much strain on the chain. So what your mechanic will try and do is try and split the difference. So it's up to you to work with the mechanic and to choose the appropriate gears to make sure that there's the least strain on the chain. It's just gonna So I'm going to give you a quick demo on Scott's new Solace 10 with Shimano Ultegra components to show you exactly how to prevent cross-chaining. Alright, so the first type of cross-chaining is like this. You can see how the chain, listen to the noise, and you can see how there's a lot of strain on the chain where you're always in your big gear here and you're in the big gear in the front. The angle of the chain is putting a lot of strain on the red rail, and you can see how stretched that is. So this is a bad idea. The way to fix that is just to shift down 1 or 2 and put it into your smaller blade. So you'll get the same resistance on the chain, but a lot smoother. The second type of cross chaining that you get is all the way at the bottom. So that's when you're in your hardest gear at the back, and then when you're in your easiest gear in the front over here. It puts a lot of strain on the chain in a sideways motion like this, and you're losing power. So the best way to ride is to shift 1 or 2 up at the back and then shift into your big blade in the front. What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to get a lot more power out of your pedal stroke, and it's also a straighter line for the chain, putting less strain on the chain. So when you're riding, to put the bike into the biggest chainring here and the big ones at the back here, the cables are under a lot of strain. So when you store your bike in your garage or at your home, the best way to store it is when the cables are at their most slack. So the way to achieve that is to put your bike into the small chainring in the front and shift all the way down at the back. If you store your bike like this, the cables are going to be under low tension and they're not going to stretch, so they're going to stay more accurate for a lot longer, and your mechanic is going to be happy with it. So if you can manage to stick with that advice, your bike's gears are going to stay a lot more accurate for a lot longer. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for another episode of FreeSpeed with TriLife coming soon.